You are a diversity hire. You are a DEI hire. You pander.
I can tell you my experience was entirely fraudulent with him.
You know, and she thinks she's some kind of boss bitch.
He just starts screaming, calling me an effing bitch.
Yeah, you're a but like you didn't get that way because you're a super smart boss. You got that way because you're super black token. Like, it is what it is. So
welcomed him into my home.
In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms.
And it was just the rage that was coming out of him was just weird.
I'm done with Candace Owens.
It's being driven from like a little boy insecurity.
I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token black.
Driven by insecurity.
You're not that smart. You're not even that conservative.
In many ways, whatever happened to him when he was 18 may have stunted his growth.
You built your career on a grift that is now dead. You were hired when diversity quotas were a thing. You were hired when white guilt is a thing.
He's lying to everybody and pretending that things are one way when it's not.
I don't feel white guilt. I never have. DEI is over. So now you're done. You need to be fired. Like, you're done.
He behaved one way in person and then put on a show for the internet.
Why don't you observe the fact that while you had a contract at Daily Wire, Turning Point USA, InfoWars, book deals, and by the way,
that's just worthy of dismissing, full stop. You know, be authentic. I don't care who you are. Like, genuinely.
Because you're a black woman, because you are a semi-articulate black woman, you're like Obama. She don't talk with that Negro dialect.
I can say that, like, even the whole, I just say I'm a racist. I know in part he says stuff to be entertaining, and that's fine. There's an element of it that is meant to be entertaining. But you got on a flight to come down onto a podcast with a black woman. Like, I don't think you're racist.
She was a black woman who did the conservative grift, and she rode that tokenism doing fucking Brexit.
So I actually can say my experience with Nick Fuentes is that he's a terrible person and a terrible human being.
For 10 years, making millions of dollars, and then married into a wealthy family.
We felt maybe he was a bit lonely. We should invite him back for dinner.
And then discovered there's something going on with Israel after only everybody started to notice. Now you want to call me out, the OG?
You can believe me or not, but I know what I'm talking about.
I can confirm he's dishonest.
They were never friends. Neither were they enemies. They were never supposed to fight. At least from the flirtations they uttered to each other online, we could tell they were neither going to have an armor fight nor a quick, sweet online romance. Nick Fuentes, the face of the America First movement, Candace Owens, one of the most famous voices in conservative media. For a while, they praised each other, even though just with a little touch of, I am not so into you, but I vibe with you somehow, stood on overlapping grounds and shared the same enemies. But now, they are tearing each other apart in one of the nastiest public feud on the ride, and the internet is here to watch and enjoy it go down. Accusations of betrayal, fights over who's more authentic, and even claims that one is trying to steal the other's extremist crown. I did not know that was a crown anybody was vying for. I thought it was given to you and you hated it but had to deal with it. I never knew it was something people were vying for. But well, apparently I was right. I was wrong. Very wrong. This isn't just drama. It's a power struggle, splitting their audience into two and even bringing all other audience onto one another's platforms. And it all started years before the cameras caught it live. But we thought it was playful romance. Today we are going deep. The full timeline, the turning points, and the factions forming around them. From the early days of mutual respect or little online flirtations, to the interview that exploded into chaos, to the fight for dominance over the far-right conservation. Let's get into it.
But then when it comes to me, I'm one of the real disaffected white people. You want to talk about me and them? I am them. He says Nick Fuentes is leading all of the disaffected young white men. I am a disaffected young white man. I was a precocious, intelligent, young white college student who went to Boston University, who was pro-Trump and red-pilled by Trump and animated by Trump's message of America First. And I asked questions about Israel, and I was punished for it. I did it years before Tucker Carlson started talking about Israel last year. and I sacrificed, and I was targeted by the ADL, by the SPLC, by the federal government, by the conservative movement that both Candace and Tucker were a part of.
Section 1. Let's start with the early Emergence between 2019 to 2022. Our story starts years before the blow up, back when Nick Fuentes, best known for his white nationalist America First movement and Holocaust denier, would occasionally praise Candace Owens in his live streams. In 2019 and 2020, Fuentes pointed to Owens as an example of a mainstream conservative pushing the conversation further right. By late 2022, rapper Ye, formerly Kanye West, claimed Owens had told him he's good. I respect Nick. It was the first public sign of a mutual acknowledgement. Privately, Fuentes even counted her amongst those in his ideological circle. And Owens, for her part, sometimes described him as simply anti-Israel, sidestepping his more extreme beliefs. Section 2. The Praise Era. Early mid-2024s. Fast forward to March 2024, Candace Owens had just left the Daily Wire after crashing with co-worker Ben Shapiro over his increasingly aggressive rhetoric towards Israel and what she called political Jews. Nick Fuentes wasted no time publicly celebrating her. He said she launched a full-fledged war against the Jews, his words, and praised her independence from what he saw as the constraints of mainstream conservative media. In Fuentes' world, this was a major win. His followers began to see Owens not just as a political celebrity, but as an emerging ally to their cause. Let's get to Section 3. Cracks begin to show. This is mid-2024. By August 2024, the cracks were showing. Owens began pushing elaborate conspiracy theories, allegedly, including the idea that a secretive sect called the Frankists had been manipulating world events for centuries. Whether you believe these theories or not is none of my business. I'm just giving you the tea. Fuentes was not impressed. On his streams, he accused her of muddling the waters of anti-Semitism and bodging historical facts. He mocked her for claiming the Russian Revolution happened in the 1980s, saying she was more about branding than accuracy. Behind the scenes, some of Fuentes' core supporters started calling her a grifter who was stealing America First talking points for personal gain. Well, when has Candace Owens been called a grifter again? Oh, all of Black, African, American, mainstream individuals. Well, let's digress, okay? Let's digress. Let's go to the fourth section, the interview. The interview that came to knock every interview. That is mid-2025. In June 2025, Owens invited Fuentes onto her platform for a sit-down interview. From what has been reported, the conversation was cordial at first. Even Candace, while talking to Tucker Carlson, explained and expressed that she and her entire family were very welcoming to Nick. They were so nice to him. They even thought of inviting him over back for dinner. He looked lonely. I was like, Candace, this is why some people don't like you. Your mouth is so condescending. Auntie, can you relax? But after filming ended, tensions rose. The interview was quietly removed from her site soon after, sparking speculation about what happened behind the scenes. Then on Tucker Carlson's show, she explained that then after the interview, she doesn't know what happened. Nick Fuentes went on to insult her, went on a tirade. I can tell that from the way she explained it and from the way Nick Fuentes explained the encounter, not everything was sweet and succulent as Candace was portraying it, because she claimed they had a nice time, a lovely time until Nick left her house and went, and then it was after a while when things erupted. But she also, on the left side of her mouth, said, Nick Fuentes got aggressive and a little bit agitative when she when she was schooling him on why he should get married, have babies. And I'm like, Candace, why you're married happily? Evidently, a couple of babies you're popping out, and I love that for you, because that is my dream, to pop out 4 babies in 4 years. That is my dream. I want to be like you in that section, girl. But do you think it is your place to tell who and everyone else you meet about marriage? Because it's the same thing she did when she had when she had this other controversial person who she calls friend on her platform, she kept pushing him on marriage. And I was like, there are many things you could be asking this man right now, including the allegations of extra abuse against him, allegations of kidnapping, and all those allegations that are levied on him, things that are ongoing. I can't say his name because if I say it, YouTube will block my video. I mentioned that guy's name on TikTok and my video was not only taken down, but my account received a strike. So I can't say it. If you know the name, drop it in the comment section. It's a very controversial person who has so many problems in the world. He's bald-headed. The brother is not bald-headed. He claims he's bald-headed by choice, but his bald head is showing the receding line of baldness approaching his line. No insult to his baldness. I love bald men to begin with. But why are you saying that your baldness is not natural? That it is you decided? No, that you are bald. You're getting bald, okay? We can see that line approaching. But she spent her entire time talking to him about, oh, why don't you get married? And we have other reasons we wanted you to do that interview, not about him getting married and all of that. People's marriage and having children or all of that, those are personal decisions people should make on their own. The economy is hard as it is. Do you think it's easy to raise 4 kids because you're married to a billionaire? You think everybody is rich as you and your husband are? Come on, man. You should try to let people make choices for themselves. Well, let's go to the feed section, the feud. This is August, definitely, just after the interview. By August, the gloves were off. Fuentes took to his live stream to call Candace Owens a DEI hire, a BITCH, I can't say the word, and an Uncle Tom token black. He accused her of trying to steal his role as the leading anti-Semite in America, saying she was coming for our thing. Wow. Owens hit back, calling the interview entirely fraudulent and pointing Fuentes as a dishonest actor within the movement. The public knew this was no longer repairable. It was off. And the funny thing that made it interesting for me was when Candace was on the interview with Tucker Carlson, where she was talking about the incident, she kept trying to act as if she just mentioned the idea of him getting married and having kids, how it changed her life, that maybe he should look into it. But I watched that segment and all she was doing was being condescending to him, like she feels like she is some superwoman now because she's married and has kids. And look, everybody has a decision to make whether they want to marry, have kids, and all of that. That's personal, and people make those decisions depending on their finances, their reasons. And Nick Fuentes really pointed out something that I really saw to be responsible on his part. He could be as funny and an interesting character as he is, but on this part I agreed with him because he said, I don't want to bring in a kid or kids and a wife into my current situation, which is very chaotic. I can't make money because I've been banned from all platforms, and I don't think I am in a position to bring in a family into this. But Candace Owens kept preaching to him, like, oh, I've never known myself until I had babies and I got married. And he rightly said, she does not know him. She does not know his life. She shouldn't preach to him. And I accept that totally. Because yes, you can talk on someone's public views, something that someone has said about politics, social life, and any other thing. But you cannot talk on someone's personal life, on their personal decisions to marry or not marry. It is not your business. You don't go around preaching to people about marriage. Yes, you can suggest it if someone is close to you. First of all, when she asked this question to the other person, who I cannot say the name because I don't want anything to happen to my channel, I felt because she has claimed they are very good friends, the guy knows her husband, so I thought the reason she asked him that question is because they were close and she felt comfortable enough to ask him that question. But from what I know, from what I could guess, she doesn't know Nick Fuentes that much. She barely knows the guy. And then you invite him over to your house for an interview and you start preaching to him about marriage. I will not talk about marriage to some, even people, friends I am close with. I don't just go around talking, you should get married. We only preach to our family with things like that because there are people we know, we grew up with, or friends we know extremely well and grew up with. You understand their point of view and you're not even preaching to them, you're suggesting. Candace, you make it hard to really defend you sometimes, we can't claim you on that aspect. Now, let's go to section 6, the sides formed. This, every time there's a war, definitely you will have sides being taken. And as the feud went public, sides formed quickly. Now, let's look at Team Candace. We had people like Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA founder, called her a great friend and dismissed anti-Semitism accusations. We have Benny Johnson, a conservative commentator who also posted support for Candace. Even Fuentes himself had been Team Candace earlier this year before turning his back now. But let's go to Nick's side. Who was there? His loyal America First followers stood by him. Oh, the war on Twitter is not your mate when it comes to this. You could feel the rage from afar. I did not want to go close to that eruption because that volcano will burn you. I stayed as far away from it as I could possibly be. Online purists accused Owens of diluting the far-right message. And then there was Tucker Carlson, who sided with Owens but called Fuentes an angry gay kid and even hinted that he might be a government plant. And the truth is this, you can say anything about anyone. Tucker Carlson, I don't hate him, I don't like him. I watch him just like I watch any other person. But Tucker, given your history, your father's history, allegedly, I think you should not be the one throwing fingers at someone about him being a plant and all of that, because you and your involvement with a certain organization, we are still looking at it and it is not looking clear. Trust me, it's that white is not looking immaculate white. It is looking brownish stained. Trust me. So you want to stay as far away from things like that as possible. He kept accusing Nick with Candace and that he's a plant, and then he said something that was really interesting. He said, he knows. I'm like, oh, you know. So are you part of the organization which he is part of, which employs him, or how do you know? We are just asking questions. Just like Candace always says, we are asking questions. Let's go to section 7, the bigger picture. This isn't just a personality clash. It's a snapshot of the far-right ecosystem. Both Owens and Fuentes thrive in an online media environment where influence is currency. An ideology purity test can turn yesterday's allies into today's enemies. It's a fight for power, influence, and control over the most controversial narrative in American politics. Because that's the truth. Whether you like it or you don't like it, none of these people are as pure as they would like you to think. Yes, to an extent, you can see that Nick Fuentes stands for something, he believes it. And there was a point in the interview with him and Candace where I could look at Candace and I was like, Candace, I don't understand it. You say you are someone who likes to ask questions, who likes to know, who wants to know what someone's point of view are. But when someone sits in front of you and tells you their point of view, it annoys you. It seems to trigger you. She has this thing she does with her mouth whenever someone is talking to her and she doesn't like the point, it's annoying or triggering her. She does it with her mouth. She firms her mouth and you can tell that has hurt her. I've seen it a lot when she's doing interviews. When she meets an opponent who pins her on a point, and usually it's a point that is it's either very true or it's something that she knows in the depth of her heart that she cannot defend. I watched it when she was doing the 20 feminists versus Candace Owens, a conservative. This is Jubilee. Yeah, that program is Jubilee. There was a lady who came on to that program and she asked Candace a simple question. You say you are for conservative women. You say women should stay home. Your book even say make him a sandwich. God, the way Nick Fuentes went in on her with that make him a sandwich book. God damn it. It was bloody. And she also asked her, if you stand for all of these things, why are you not home making your husband a sandwich? Why are you in the media? You're a working mother of 4 right now. Why are you not home making your husband a sandwich? Why are you out there in this street? You have a podcast, you have a business, you were working for the Daily Wire before you got fired. You have jobs. So which means you're not standing 10 toes deep on the things you claim. Because look, listen, if someone says, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and the only thing they are doing is probably a podcast, like maybe Candace has a podcast and all they are doing is, I just want to stay home. Candace doesn't do that. Candace gives talks all over the world. She was banned in Australia. Why? Because she was going there for a talk. She gives talks all over the world. She's a working mom. So she cannot claim that women, conservatives, stay home and all of that, making mistakes. And see, you're not giving it. And there is another point I heard. Please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. Has Candace Owens adopted her husband's name? I think not. Allegedly, she has not still taken on her husband's name, but she's a conservative. I thought conservatism implied you get married to your husband, your name shouldn't be Candace Owens anymore. Your name should be Candace Parker. I think that's the name of the husband, right? If I'm wrong, correct me. Leave me alone. I don't know that man's name from nowhere. But that is something that we can look at, because there are a lot of times when Candace will stand on a point, but she can't defend it. And that is why I say it is a little difficult to defend her sometimes. She doesn't stand on business like she claims. What started as a mutual admiration has turned into one of the most vicious feuds on the America ride. So, is this the final break or just another chapter in a long game of political theater? Because if you ask me, they are all performers. There is something Tucker Carlson said, and I knew it. They all know that they are all actors. Tucker Carlson said he is a bad faith performer. Then another person who is also conservative, who has refused to debate Nick Fuentes, also said he is a bad faith actor, which means these people know. They know they are all on stage playing for us to watch, and they want to act as if they are authentic. These are things that many people online watching this feud are complaining about. Some people are supporting Nick Fuentes, saying that, you know what, he has the right to be angry with Candace. How dare she? And others are telling Candace, you know what, how dare he? How do you know where to stand? The truth is this, if you ask me, I will tell you, watch this from the sidelines. Stay away from this volcano, because the truth is, you don't know how this started. What are the things that went on behind the scenes that led to this huge eruption we are seeing online? And the truth is, none of them will ever tell the truth. They will give us half truths and giving us half-baked goods to give us just enough to form an opinion, but not enough to get the full context of it. And that is where I say I cannot put my neck on the line for any of these people, because at the end of the day, this right here is what we call political theater. Who is the actor? Who is going to be the director? Who is the scriptwriter? They all interchange in the roles, interchange in performing, interchange in directing, acting, and everything else. Until next time, please drop your comments in the comment section and let me know what are your thoughts. And if you found this breakdown helpful, like, subscribe, and share, and turn on the notifications so that anytime I drop another rant like this, or a full breakdown as we call it, you will know. And if there is something I missed, please drop it in the comment section. And if there's something you would like me to discuss about next, hey, I'm just here, being at home, like Candace say we should do, making a sandwich and running my mouth on the internet. Until next time, see ya.
That both Candace and Tucker were a part of. He's lonely, he's weird, he lives in a basement. That's a lot of people because of the problems you claim to care about. Do you care about Klarna and people going into debt to order pizzas and home ownership being impossible? Or do you think that's a contemptible, low-status thing to be ridiculed and mocked? What is wrong with being from Chicago? What is wrong with being weird? What is wrong with living in your basement? I'm the inauthentic person. I am that person. I am a spokesman for the disaffected white man because I am one, and you two are not. My dad didn't even graduate college. My mother's father was a garbage man in Chicago, and he committed suicide. He was a veteran of World War II. Who's the CIA cutout? Who's the poser? Who is America? I am America. Chicago is America. That's an American story.